Okay, founders, as promised, we're going to go through kind of the funnel of curious and fact finding to planning to executing on selling your business. So at the top of the funnel, thing number one, what's your business worth? I know that most founders, when they start thinking about selling their business, are trying to figure out, how much it's worth or how to decide. And really, frankly, it flows from what are you going to get? Or said another way, can you get enough money so that net after taxes that you can endow the rest of your life to kind of cover your cash flow, taking into account investments and inflation and taxes and expenses? So how do you get to that number? Okay, kind of seller alert, critical information alert. Your business is either going to sell as a function of its revenue, its EBITDA or net profits with a little bit of a calculation in there added back, or the assets, right? So it's not going to be some discounted cash flow analysis. It's not going to be something that you need to, go into some computer program for. If you're taking your company to market and you're using an investment banker and maybe even at the lower end, a business broker, if they're experienced and they're out there, they're going to be able to tell you, hey, look, if you've got a lot of recurring revenue, like a software company, it's going to sell at a multiple of recurring revenue. Might be 2 times if it's a professional services firm, might be 6 or 7 times if it's a growing software business. But the market participants are going to be able to tell you what that is. And you, as a sort of a back of the envelope calculation, can say, okay, here's what my recurring revenue is. If you want to get a little deeper into it, what's your net recurring revenue, which is kind of your recurring revenue minus your churn or lost accounts. And a lot of buyers are going to pay roughly market, meaning, some multiple of that. So if you've got a 5 million of annual recurring revenue, and let's just say for simplicity purposes, you've got 0 churn, and the market is 5 times annual recurring revenue, then your business is worth about $25 million. So that's the top line number. And if you think that net of transaction expenses and taxes is enough and you're ready, then you can go to market. Similarly, if your business, say, generates 25 million of sales and gets to 5 million of net profit, and if you add back, the personal expenses you run through the business and interest and taxes and depreciation and amortization, so the things you need to add back to get to what is called adjusted EBITDA, and you get to, let's say, $8 million of adjusted EBITDA. And you go out and talk to transactional professionals and they say, so, listen, companies like yours trade for, 7 or 8 times EBITDA. Let's say it's a high growth business and it's got a good moat around it. And, you've got some unique intellectual property. Well, then your business is worth $56 to $64 million on a pre-tax, pre-transaction fee basis. So starting point, what's your business worth? It's probably going to be a multiple of revenue or a multiple of EBITDA. And if you're talking to transactional professionals who you might want to be interviewing to talk about whether you should sell your company, ask them what the data looks like. Ask them what precedent transactions, the most recent multiples of kind of serial buyers like private equity firms or strategic buyers like, big companies in your business are paying. Get a gauge there on what your business might be worth, and then move on to the next decision. Back to you soon on that one. Thanks.